Hi guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Today we're going to look at silver and silver plate and polishing it. Now in the antique game we often get silver pieces that are badly tarnished, and the tarnishing of silver is a reaction with the silver molecules to hydrogen sulfide in the atmosphere. Happens more in humid weather, I believe, and there's also some speculation as to whether it's happening more often these days due to the pollutants in the air. So these are just silver plate spoons, EPNS, and they're quite tarnished. So it's a good little time to show you how a quick trick to clean them with some common household items, some silver foil, some bicarb soda, known in the States I think as baking soda, and it's also just shortened here to bicarb, and some common table salt and some hot water. Now before we go any further, this method is a nice quick little hack for doing low value items. I've got some sterling silver 925 stamped necklaces here, so it works on silver plate and sterling silver, and it works on anything that actually is silver and not a fake, because some necklaces, even though they're stamped 95, they're not actually silver. There's some fakes around, of course. So a word of caution first, good quality sterling silver antiques would not be suitable for this method. This is an electrochemical reaction, and whilst it doesn't take silver off your item, it actually will remove any factory produced patina, and it will devalue a quality sterling silver antique, but certainly fine on just general jewellery, fairly low value stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit later on ways to prevent tarnish happening again. So all we've got here is some silver foil over a ceramic bowl, and I'm doing two just to show that it really doesn't matter which way the foil goes. I've heard people say that it must be shiny side up. Really, the shiny side and the dull side are just part of the manufacturing process of aluminium foil, and it's not a coating or anything, so both sides work fine. And what we'll do now is I've already sprinkled a little bit of table salt in the bottom, and you can see there, and we shall add some bicarb shortly. You'll find a lot of videos on YouTube about this. Some people know what they're doing to a degree, some people have no idea, they've just seen it done and they copy it. Very few people actually explains how it happens, so we'll touch on that as well. So let's get this show on the road. What we'll do is put a spoon in each bowl, so that then we can do a comparison, because those spoons had pretty much the same level of tarnish. And we'll plonk this little necklace in that one, and that necklace in that one, and we'll leave this other spoon as a control, so we've got a comparison later on. So I'll get these going and then I'll explain what's happening. We'll put some bicarb in that one, same in that one. The quantities aren't critical, as long as there's enough to help the reaction go along. Now it will foam up with the boiling water, as you can see. And I'm doing this outside partly because the light's much better, but also this reaction will produce some hydrogen gas, not large amounts, and you may also notice a bit of a rotten egg smell. There are some reactions going on that will produce hydrogen sulfide, which is the rotten egg gas. Again, not large quantities, but you'll probably notice it if you stick your nose in the bowl. So it's already cleaning very quickly. I'm not going to stick my finger in there, it's a bit hot. We'll use my pen and just move that necklace around, and that one as well. So it's pretty much happens before your eyes. I'll leave them soak for a little bit while I explain what's going on. Now the aluminium has a stronger affinity for sulfur than what silver does, and the tarnish I mentioned earlier, that black look, is actually silver sulfide. So we have an electrochemical reaction going on, and the silver pieces do need to be in contact with the aluminium for this to happen, and you get a transfer of the sulfide, and you'll find that the aluminium, and I think you can see it in both of these already, the aluminium foil takes on a little bit of a darker grayer colour as the tarnish essentially removes from the silver and attaches itself to the aluminium, in very simple terms. I won't get too involved in the chemistry, I don't claim to understand it all, but the role of the foil is to provide aluminium. The role of the bicarb apparently removes aluminium oxide. Now, aluminium does have an oxide layer which coats it, and to allow access to the aluminium atoms, the bicarb actually removes that oxide layer for the reaction to happen. And the salt is purely to provide a bit of an electrolyte to help in the solution for atoms to flow. That's my understanding anyway, for the electrons to flow. The hot water really the heat just increases your reaction effectiveness, so that's why we use boiling water. So these have only been in here a couple of minutes, and I think that's ample time to show you some results. So I'll take them out and I'll dry them on a cotton tea towel, and we'll show you how they compare. So here's the results. You can see particularly on the teaspoons that it's really a startling result. And the back of the bowl of the spoon is just beautiful and shiny. So if you did your silver plate items and your sterling silver jewellery fairly regularly, the tarnish comes off brilliantly, and that was just a wipe with a cotton tea towel afterwards. And you should be able to see the line up the handle there where the spoon was in the solution and where it wasn't. So the beauty about this method is that it doesn't involve any abrasive polishing, which removes the silver molecules. So your supermarket style silver polishers like Silvo, and even people that use something like toothpaste, it's really a no-no, because it's very abrasive. You're actually removing silver molecules, and on plated items like this, you will seriously wear through the silver in no time at all, and you'll be back to the base metal, which won't give you any sort of shine like silver does. That's pretty amazing, actually. So there you go. It's a brilliant little process, a bit of a hack, works great. The necklaces come up well too, and it's really handy for necklaces and chains because you can't polish them. It's a good way to freshen up your silver necklaces. Now, to prevent your silver tarnishing in the future, or at least reduce the amount of tarnish, keep your silver items in little Ziploc bags, because if you keep them away from the air, you won't get that reaction with hydrogen sulfide and the black tarnishing forming. Things like spoons, probably don't put them in together without wrapping them perhaps individually in some cotton or something. Silver's a very soft metal, and even the silver plate ones, they will scratch, and fine scratching shows up on your polished silver items. Another little trick, you can buy, by the way, anti-tarnishing strips from jewellery stores which will absorb moisture. A quicker and easier way is to save all your little silica gel packets that come in all sorts of things, in electronics, even in pill bottles, and pop one of those in each bag with your items, and you'll find that they will last a long time before they tarnish again. And before we finish up, we'll have a look back in the bowls, and you can really see the greyishness, which essentially is the sulfide has now bonded with the aluminium. So, as I said, it's a handy little hack. The abrasive polishes, as I mentioned, aren't good on silver, and also the silver dips, the chemical dips, they can cause a lot of trouble in that they will keep etching into the silver once the tarnish is removed. So I hope you've got something out of that. I hope that's cleared up some questions you've had by watching some other YouTube videos. You now roughly know how the chemical process works, what each ingredient's for, and I'll continue to clean up the rest of these spoons, and it'll value add them quite a bit, much more saleable in the shop when they don't look black and scungy. Thanks for watching. Look out for me in the next video. Bye.